Welcome back, everybody, to episode 2 of Replay with Donzelli. And today we have college football. And we are starting off with Desmond Howard's 93-yard punt return to where he made the Heisman celebration pose famous, I'd say. Now, some of you might know Desmond Howard from College Game Day. I hope you know him from his college accolades and him being one of the best college football players of all time. In an article done by ESPN, they ranked him as the 129th best college football player of all time. And during his 1991 Heisman season, he was one of the first wide receivers to win the Heisman, and he also received a shocking 85% of the votes. That year, he had 23 total touchdowns, and as you can tell from the 85% of the votes, it was basically unarguable that he was going to be the Heisman that year. Now, Desmond Howard wasn't the first player to hit the Heisman celebration touchdown, but he was the one that popularized it. Hitting the Heisman pose after a 93-yard punt return touchdown to then win the Heisman later that season just made this story even more famous just for what it is. Now this took a lot of waiting to get the right punt, to try to get the right lanes, because Desmond Howard cut straight up the middle. And then when I finally get a good punt return here in a second, I realize that I'm unable to hit the Heisman celebration in practice. So I have to move on to an actual game, which is going to be even more difficult. Now, this is, I believe, the fourth game I attempted, so I'll just be giving footage from that one to make this video not 30 minutes long. But I wish you were actually able to edit the players and import players in College Football 25, because using Desmond Howard would make this 1,000 times easier. You'd have like 98 speed, 99 change direction. You would make this so much easier. It is great, the attention to detail that EA Sports put into this game. It's been 10 years since their last college football game, and people have waited and asked for this, and they did not drop the ball at all. So props to them for making a great game. I had to mess around with it a lot, force a lot of fourth downs, because I was playing with one controller, which made it a lot more difficult, because I had to keep switching sides, and you have to switch sides immediately after the play, or you will be on the same team. I had to do a lot of forced fourth downs, some fumbles for Michigan, as you can see right here in that very realistic fumble. It was a relief that I was able to get this one done in the second quarter, because this is the fourth game it took me, and I was done with it at this point. I was so ready to get this punt return done. I tried countless number of different ways, but I was finally able to replicate the touchdown with, as you can see here, number 21 on Michigan, Desmond Howard. And he hits the Heisman pose in the end zone to follow it up. Next up, we have the pick six from the 2013 Iron Bowl. Now, this is a tough one to replicate because the ball went all the way back to the end zone and then took it 108 yards to the house. This is one of the most famous plays in college football history, not only because of the rivalry. This is, in my opinion, the most historic rivalry in all of college football, that being the Iron Bowl. And at this time in the game, it was 28-28. This is the last play of the game. Alabama was trying an all-or-nothing field goal, but it ended up being less than nothing, with Chris Davis taking it 108 yards to the house. Now, this took a lot of waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. As you can see from these clips, it was very tough to get the exact kick, and as you can see that it's sped up here to try to cut some time and show the process a little bit more. Luckily for me, whoever Auburn had back on these kick returns was extremely fast, so he pretty much just took off out of there, just racing past all of those O-linemen, the punter and the kicker, and there was pretty much nobody that was going to stop him at that point. Next up, we got another Iron Bowl matchup here, this time with Alabama winning it. And this is the 4th and 31 miracle, which actually happened last year. And CFB 25 won't even let me move players around, so I'm unable to get the player who actually caught the touchdown, Isaiah Bond, back on Alabama because he transferred to Texas. Similarly with the kick six, this was another all-or-nothing situation for Alabama. This time they were down 24-20. There was about 40 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and this was, believe it or not, 4th and goal from 31-yard line. And Jalen Milroe has about, it feels like 40 seconds in the pocket when you're watching the playback and when you're watching it in real time. And then he ends up hitting Isaiah Bond with just a laser in the corner of the end zone to beat the PB. I just remember watching this play vividly. I was sitting next to one of the biggest Auburn fans I've ever met in my life, for no reason, only because his sister went there. He's just a ginormous fan, and he was so confident. He's like, oh, 4th 31, this game's over. There's no way. Jalen Milroe throws a heave for 31 yards in the back corner of the end zone. In Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, which makes it even crazier. There's a couple times here where I thought I had it. A couple times here where I just had the player running the complete wrong route, and I was forgetting to adjust. Now, this is when I really thought it was it. I had plenty of time in the pocket. I was standing there for days. I had a man down there who was open, and he drops it. But finally, we were able to get it. This time, instead of to Isaiah Bond, it goes straight into the Auburn defender's hands. I'm getting better every play, and I can feel it coming, and I'm finally able to get it in the back corner of the end zone, this time to a 17-year-old freshman wide receiver instead of Isaiah Bond, unfortunately. But nonetheless, still able to recreate it to the best of my ability. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing me recreate Desmond Howard's 93-yard punt return, the Chris Davis kick six, and Alabama's 4th and 31 miracle to the best of my abilities. Next week we will be covering the NBA, and leave any comments for feedback or any other plays you'd like me to see or like me to do that I haven't done already. And I will see you guys next week. Thank you guys for watching.